My name is Jess Payne, and I teach the euphonium, trombone, and tuba at REW Music. My favorite thing about teaching music is seeing my students grow and succeed as people and as musicians throughout their journey. I have a lot of students who come in really shy, and they come into themselves learning music. They become more confident and more self-assured, and it's just one of the coolest things about teaching. When I first started music, I actually played viola first. I wanted to play flute, but by the time they got to my name in the alphabet all the way down at P's, flute was already all filled up. So my mom played viola, and I'm like, we have one in the house, I might as well just play viola. And band and orchestra were both during recess, so I was the only one in my friend group in orchestra, everybody else was in band. So I would go to orchestra, and then I would go to recess, and all my friends would be in band, and I'm like, I would like to play band too, because I miss my friends and I want to hang out with them. So I picked up the euphonium because my mom also played the euphonium. So it was really cool kind of being the legacy there, being able to play an instrument that she played. And I heard David Childs play The Flight of the Bumblebee. Actually, it was one of the first euphonium pieces I heard. I just Googled euphonium, and it's the first thing that comes up. And he just shredded on that piece. I had never heard anything like it. I was like, one day I want to be able to play like them. That's such a great sound. And then I heard the more lyrical things that euphonium can do, and I just fell in love with it. Especially since getting to college and starting to play in brass bands, I realized that euphonium is such an important role in the bands that doesn't necessarily get the love and deserves like every other instrument does. The day I realized I wanted to teach music for the rest of my life was my sophomore year in high school. My band director asked me to go to one of the instrument petting zoos that he did because the trombone section leader couldn't make it. Now, mind you, I'd never touched a trombone before at this point, but I knew how to buzz, and he handed me an instrument and he said, "Go make the kids want to play trombone." And I was like, "Yes, sir." So I was with this trombone. I had never played it before, and I've got all these kids who have also never played the trombone before. And getting those kids to play the first note on this horn and showing them the funnest thing about trombone, you know, the brrr, it was the coolest thing ever. And I was sitting right next to the music store's booth, and I overheard him telling my band director, like, "I think that girl's gonna be a music teacher." And I was already kind of realizing that myself throughout the night, like, this is something I could do for the rest of my life. And I went up to my band director afterwards, and I'm like, "I think I know what I want to do for the rest of my life. I think I want to do music." And I cried in the car on the way home that day because I was like, I think this is my life's purpose. And as I continued through high school, I was really close with my band director. He was kind of my mentor, getting me into the music field, music community. And he was talking to me. I just played a recital over at my old high school just a couple months ago, and he was talking to me about that. When he has students that want to go into music, he tries to turn them away from it because it's a really hard field, and if they're not 100% committed, it's not going to work out well for them. And he told me that I was the only person he never tried to turn away from it. And it was the coolest thing being able to go back to that high school and being like, this is where it all started. This is where I knew that this is what I was going to do for the rest of my life. And here I am, like 2 degrees deep, getting another one, and it's still the thing I want to do for the rest of my life. So I've been really enjoying working here and working with these students. Teaching younger kids isn't necessarily something I thought I would like, but I have been really enjoying it since I got here and have been working with these kids. It's been a lot of fun. This year's state audition music pulls an excerpt from Holst's second suite, the first movement, the March, and the excerpt is based off of Swansea Town, which is an old English folk song. And Googling the words to this folk song will help you find the stresses that you need when you're performing it, so you have the accents on the right parts of the words. Some common pitfalls that you'll come across in this excerpt are the arpeggiations of the triads in the beginnings of most of these phrases. You need to know the tone tendencies, the intonation tendencies of all these pitches, so when you play that third, you have it a little bit lower so that you have that arpeggiation in tune. That's something the judges will be able to hear. And to work on that, putting a tuner on your stand will be super helpful so you can see that triad. I like to use the Tonal Energy Tuner app, and you can also play with the drone. With that one, you can just put an F drone on the entire time and hear how those different pitches you're playing relate to that F. You want to try to get the beats, the waves you hear out of your playing so that you are in tune with the drone you're playing. Another thing that's a problem in this excerpt is cutting the notes too short. And one thing I like to do for that is playing the subdivision. So when you have the beginning of the excerpt, da 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 da, you could play the 16th notes, da 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 da, and then slowly phase that out, da 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 da, so that you play everything in time. And that also works for some of the longer notes too, if you turn the half notes into quarter notes, just to make sure you're playing everything right in time. Because this is a march, and when you play this with a band, you're going to have a drum behind you, and you're going to have a lot of people playing steady time. So it's important to learn this very steady, so that when you eventually play it with a band, you'll be right with them and you won't have any time issues.